I just worked my ass off. I got fucking yachts and everything, and now I got to go kiss this guy's dick. Like, you saw them all lined up behind Trump during the inauguration.
Been doing a few clips with Andrew Schultz recently. I don't know why, but he's been doing the circuit. So this is the question. Will Trump and Elon Musk's friendship last? Let's tune in, see how it goes, see how it sounds, and comment.
You know what else I think? If I was to just chuck a little bet on for something that's very, very reliably going to happen over the next 3 years before the end of this administration, the mother of all blowups between Elon and Trump.
So how do you see that happening? I've heard a lot of people, Charlemagne talks about this all the time. Trump thinks Charlemagne thinks Trump is going to put him in prison.
Okay, that's a take that I hadn't heard before.
But yeah, what do you, now, Charlemagne is very Democrat. Like, obviously he's going to have some bias that goes into this, but what is your take, and how do you see that relationship going?
I just think that when you've got two people with so much power and ego, and I do, from what I can tell, Elon's ego and that sort of self-focused self-belief, like it's me, and like I am going to be the center of all of this, seems to be ramping up. That is probably a pretty dangerous cocktail based on like some stories and stuff that I've heard about behind the scenes from Trump about some levels of vulnerability and sort of like flimsy senses of he doesn't like to be shown up, doesn't like to be sort of upstaged, and I
don't know if Elon has the emotional intelligence of JD Vance
to be able to tiptoe around and yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir.
JD, and why I say do not treat that man lightly. I think he came from like poverty. I think his mom was like a drug addict, and then he ends up going to Yale, and then he becomes the VP of a guy that he campaigned against and said was horrible and like a tyrant. Do you know the level of emotional intelligence it takes to go from like a broke middle America, broken family to an Ivy League institution to then VP for the guy who he doesn't always keep in it. Like, you can say things about Trump, but if it's advantageous for whatever his plan is, he will forgive you. You know, he's kind of like Vince McMahon in that regard, like whatever works for the thing. But like that takes high EQ. Even in that moment with Zelensky, he's managing Trump. Like he did have a moment for himself, but everything he said was, and you show respect to Trump and Donald Trump's office and what.
Yeah, so he knows the game he's playing.
Oh, what I'm saying is don't.
Speaking of JD Vance, they're hitting on it 100%. I think this is, I've felt the same way. I mean, this guy, Vance, is as high level political creature as I've ever seen. He knows how to thread the needle in like almost every difficult, complicated political situation I've seen him or corner I've seen him backed into. He finds a way to get out of it or thread the needle through it. He very clearly has a high level, as they're calling it, if it's emotional intelligence or political awareness. And I had this realization the other day that it's sort of I see Vance as acting very much, I mean, obviously in his own self-interest, but him making the pivot from 100% anti-Trump, as much as anti-Trump as you can get, to literally finding his way to be Trump's VP. And sort of finessing his way through it, sort of keeping a low profile, not stepping out of line, not stepping on the leader's toes, but using this as a platform to launch his own political ambitions and obviously get to that next level, which is the presidency, which he is technically, the next in line. It's been very impressive, high level of intelligence, obviously, but also probably definitely a level of, I don't know if it's psychopathy or sociopathy, to just be able to just melt away any of your own personal beliefs or convictions and just do and say everything that it takes to get power. Well, we're just talking about politicians, but there's some kind of psychological thing going on there. I'm not calling him a psychopath or anything. I don't like the guy, obviously. But I do respect what he's been able to finesse thus far. So
don't treat him lightly. What our coastal elites, we always do is when someone has a kind of Southern accent, we think they're idiots. And we don't even really pay attention to them. And that man is someone I see a
Speaking for him, I'd never have felt that way. But
problem with JD before I see Elon, but
What do you think's going to happen with Elon long term with Trump?
nothing.
Do you think that he's going to dance through the minefield?
I don't think. I think he's acutely aware of his limitations in America. He cannot physically be president. If he could be president, I think there is a concern because eventually he'll go when they have an impasse. He'll just
yeah, but it's like, he's got the next best thing or the best thing anyway. I mean, he's already basically the shadow president. He's already wielding tremendous amounts of power. Trump's deferring to him on massive decisions, cutting all kinds of departments, basically writing the budget and all. It's like he's already has immense amounts of power, and he's only going to try to get as much as he possibly can. So I think Schultz is naive in this, in his vision or the way he's seeing sort of Musk and what he wants. Um, at least to me, that's clear.
just go, well, I'll just run against you. He cannot. The laws dictate he cannot.
So inevitably, you're going to have to bow down at some point.
This is the highest. You're as high as you can go, Elon.
That's only based on the fact that you can put the outcomes that you want for your projects behind your ego.
Yes.
And I'm not sure which one is going to be the bigger priority.
The only other thing he could do is leverage the Democrats, which have already made him radioactive. Like no Democrat can side with Elon. So Elon is as far as he can go in America. He can't go any further. Like this is outside of being president. Like there's that great line in Game of Thrones where like Cersei is talking to Littlefinger and Littlefinger is like, Littlefinger, the character, and Littlefinger goes, what I've learned over the years is that, knowledge is power. And there's all these guards around her and them. And she goes, guards, slit his throat. And they all walk up and put a knife to his throat. And then she goes, guards, stand down. Guards, take 2 steps back. Guards, take 6 steps back. And then she goes, power is power. And it's just so fire. And it's like, Trump has power. Power is power. That is the closest Elon can get to power. And I don't think there's another president that will allow Elon to have that access to power. So Elon either has to hope there's another person that he could ride with and establish a relationship, and maybe that's JD, but he have to wait to the next administration anyway. So what he can't do is sour all the Republicans on him. Like I cannot see the situation where they get into trouble because there's nowhere else for him to go. He'd either have to jump parties, which is very difficult after chastising the left all this time. Like he's kind of made his bed and he's high. He has access to all these things. And I think
he's high on ketamine, literally.
I think it does benefit him the most if America is successful because all his businesses are tied up in America. He could jump ship to another country, but that's not the thing I worry about because I think he's smart enough to understand the position he's in. Eventually you hit this is what happens with all rich people is that actually want to move weight around. You hit the impasse of government and you have people who are way less successful than you, way poorer than you, telling you whether you can or can't build a factory or do whatever you want to do. And in that moment, they go, fuck, I just worked my ass off. I got fucking yachts and everything. And now I got to go kiss this guy's dick. Like you saw them all lined up behind Trump during the inauguration.
Zuckerberg. Poor Elon. He wanted to build his factory, but the government wasn't letting him. Oh,
Bezos. Everybody went to kiss the ring, and he set them up, letting everybody else know they're kissing the ring. And I think Elon goes, I got the best seat. It don't get better than this. And this guy trusts me and believes in me. I can't fuck this up.
The amount of like billionaire dick riding that Schultz has gotten, I just don't understand it, man. Like these guys don't like you either, They only like you to the extent that you're willing to puff them up and do propaganda for them. But it's like when you buy the government and when you don't donate $250 million to a freaking campaign, do I have that ability? Do you have that ability? Does anyone else have that ability? No. The campaign finance system is completely broken. Our political power is basically nothing. And if you're someone like Elon Musk, you have, 200 and 300 billion dollars to leverage. You're able to literally buy the American government and get that kind of influence. That's the only reason he has that power and he has that seat, that he was able to literally buy Trump and buy the office and buy the power that you're talking about. And you're talking about it in like as if it's a good thing. Like,
and he's dealt with governors, mayors, and all this other shit that he doesn't respect at all. So he's like, it's not going to get better than this. I don't think he can ruin it. If they change the rule to let non-citizens become president, now we have an issue. But Trump would never change that rule because that's his security blanket right there. It's actually kind of like brilliantly done by Trump. It's ride with me against the left. Now Elon can't go to the left, so he has to be loyal to you. It's like he's Zelensky.
Well,
like,
everybody that's associated with Trump is so unspeakable and toxic that they're never going to be allowed back.
So now you got the loyalty built right there.
Yeah, you've probably heard me talk about Element before.
All right. Well, there you have it. Not a lot from Chris Williamson. I still don't know a lot about this guy. I really don't know where where he stands on. He seems like a neutral kind of guy. I don't know. I don't really know what he's into. But anyway, Schultz has clearly made his bed with the Musks and the MAGAs of the world, for what it's worth. That's where he likes to be. That's where he feels comfy wumpy. So anyway, let me know what you guys think, and let me know your thoughts. Drop some comments. We'll have a discussion there. Like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.